Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Shadow Machamp in the Ultra League with its new Karate Chop, and we're also going to be using an Elite TM to get Stone Edge. So I'm not going to be powering up my Great League one. After all, it did so well that I'm just going to keep it there and just use a couple of more Elite TMs, Elite Charge and Elite Quick. So it's definitely worth it. I found it doing absolutely amazing. So definitely worth the investment. Now, if you're sitting on a bunch of TMs, if you don't mind, it's definitely worth it. So just keep that in mind, right? You got a big pile, go for it. Otherwise, you may want to hold off. And it's not because it's not great, but I don't want to entice you to use them. But we're going to be pairing it up with Skeledirge as well as Shadow for Alligator here. And the team did fairly well. Going to be taking a look at a 10-minute video, so let's see what we have going on here. If you can give this a thumbs up, that'd be much appreciated. And let's see what we have going on here. But before we do, I have about 3 or 4 different Machamps now. So we have one with Revenge. Well, I call it Revenge, but it's Payback. And it's going to have Counter as well as Rock Slide. Then we have the standard one from before, the Counter. And then now we have this one. See, it's Niantic's way of kind of forcing us to use our Elite Quick TMs, our Elite Charge TMs, when they bring back old legacy moves and make them stronger than before. I see the game. So this person is, I do believe they force closed the wrap right there. All right, let's keep it going here. Get into the full commentary. For Alligator up against Togekiss, we do like this absolutely here. You don't want to swap. This is not a bad situation. You kind of just want to maybe stop them from sneaking a charm through. But with the lag and frame skipping, it seems a little bit hard to do that at times. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Don't get too frustrated with it. It is busted. So yes, our Skeledirge is going to be good up against it. They use both shields, which is great. We're going to just let our Feraligatr go down here and just bring in our Skeledirge to take over the situation. Going straight for the Shadow Ball so we can just get them out of here. We don't want to shield up. We don't want to hit Ancient Power or anything like that. They do have a Swampert, and I immediately swap into the Machamp, and they're bringing in their Giratina. And I'm going to go ahead and let it go. Still holding on to 2 shields here. Skeledirge can still put in the work with that Shadow Ball and or Disarming Voice up against Swampert. So we'll just have to see how that does go here. Hitting them with the Stone Edge, doing a ton of damage. Gonna let it go and just kind of hold off for the Skeledirge. I don't know if that was the right call, if I should have went for another Stone Edge here. But let's see how this works out. Down they go. And at this point, I need to get to 2 Shadow Balls. Do you see all that frame skipping? That's not my editing. That's not your internet. That is the game itself. At times 2 speed, it is still extremely noticeable, and wow. So now we just need to get to a Disarming Voice. We have 1 more shield left. The problem is the slow energy gain. Can we make it? And unfortunately, they're going to be outpacing me. So they take that win. That's a good game there. Probably screwed up a couple of times, but that's all right. Next game, we're going to be met with a Tapu Fini. This is surprisingly not a bad matchup here, even though they resist all of the charge moves. Shadow Claw's still doing a ton. And if you do have Shadow for Alligator, you're going to be looking pretty all right here. They do have Nature's Madness, of course, Moonblast as well, but they're hitting me with a Surf here, maybe trying to get a shield. Nature's Madness costs a little bit more energy, but hey, we're looking good here, getting to another Hydro Cannon, and as you can see, just taking the win here, and that great hit there was on me. I intentionally missed some bubbles. So they do have a Giratina. We're going to go ahead and let this go, and then bring in the Skeledirge here, and see what we can do up against this thing. Typically, I don't know, I like to go Disarming Voice, Shadow Ball, but it really depends on the situation. Since they have 2 shields, I think it's best to just go, yeah, Disarming Voice. Go for another one here. Now, Machamp isn't going to have the best situation going up against the Giratina, but we do have Stone Edge, and it does do a lot of damage, so we do have that on our side. I will shield this up here so we can get to the Disarming Voice, although I should probably went for the Shadow Ball there. I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay, I guess so. We have no more shields, so it's all up to Machamp here. Now I can throw the Cross Chop, and this will take them out. Hopefully there's something in the back that we can handle without any shields. And it is going to be a Skeledirge. Oh my goodness, it's this game here. All right, so we get to the Stone Edge. I had to leave this in because check it out. Just about one-shotting them, and they just needed 1 more quick move. Are you kidding me? Of course we're going to be taken out by Disarming Voice. Another good game. I thought I'd leave in a couple of losses here. Folks been asking, so what's the big deal? Whatever. All right, next game we're going to be met with a Giratina. This is a good matchup for the Feraligatr, especially if you're Shadow here. And of course, we're going to be going for crunch. More than likely, they're shielding it up, but we do have a chance for them to drop the defense. So they did let it go, which is great. And we're going to go ahead and let this go as well. And we are getting to the Hydro Cannon here. If they shield this up, that's fine. They're going to be down a shield, and we will be able to farm them up. They're letting it go. So we do win this matchup here. Feraligatr on their end is farming up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Machamp. Now, although it's neutral, Shadow Machamp just can't take a hit. Feraligatr's Hydro Cannon hits really hard. And of course, it's super effective up against these Skeletors. So we're just going to go ahead and bring in the Machamp. But they're catching a Cross Chop with their Cresselia. Now, hopefully they don't have Future Sight. All right, Moonblast. If they had Future Sight, they wouldn't be going for that. Unless they're trying to play some sort of 3D chess with me, some Super Mind games. So we're going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. We are down a shield, so we can still potentially pull this off. Let's see how this does work out. Knowing that they don't have it at this point, we're just going to go ahead and farm them down. There's no need to throw that energy. Feraligatr into the battle here. We're going to go ahead and go for the Disarming Voice. They're using their first shield here. Now, we still have Machamp in the back with energy. It's a matter of fact that has a Stone Edge. So we're going to throw this, swap immediately, go for the Stone Edge, and then take the win with our Shadow Machamp here. I'm loving this thing. Definitely worth the Elite TM for both the Quick and the Charge. All right, so next game. And if you're wondering, do you need Stone Edge? No, I mean, it's nice, but Rock Slide got nerfed. So that person was hard countered. I just left that in there just to show you exactly. It's not like, oh, you backed out. I just love to show those things because it's so ridiculous. Yeah, how are you supposed to play around that? Give me a break. All right, so next game. Good for us again for the Typhlosion in lead. They swap into a Venusaur. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Skeledirge to pretty much just shut it down. If it was a Shadow, it can do pretty good damage. I mean, the regular Venusaur can do quite a bit of damage as well with 2 Frenzy Plants. But we're taking them out there, and we're coming out of that with energy. Both shields on both ends here. Going to go straight for the Shadow Ball up against that Typhlosion. And they're letting it go. Sounds good to me. I keep forgetting that it does have Thunder Punch now, so that is a thing. We're calling it. Getting to the Disarming Voice. Oh, we're going to farm them down. Oh, okay, that works too. They're bringing in a Clefable. All right, now this is getting a little bit tricky since they do have the Fairy Wind. We're going to have a little bit of time here to figure this out. I do believe they just back out, so the Machamp is not even going to be able to get any battle time for this one here, and we're taking that win and moving it on to the next one here. Leading with the Feraligatr up against another Typhlosion. Yeah, that's funny. So I had a friend over. They were watching me. I was like, watch, I'm going to show you the algorithm. Check this out. It was nuts. And it proved, it proved itself to be right there for us. Okay, it was absolutely insane. Anyways, bringing in the Machamp here. Going to go ahead and shield up this Shadow Feraligatr Hydro Cannon and building up quite a bit of energy. Going for the Stone Edge. Are they going to let this go? That's going to be crazy. And they do, okay, because they did use a shield. I'm assuming they don't want to use it up yet. Bringing in that Typhlosion, getting to the Cross Chop, of course, going to throw that immediately. I'm not trying to go for no Stone Edge. That's still doing a ton of damage here. And at this point, I think we can let the Machamp go. It really doesn't have too much health to survive any longer, so it would have been kind of a waste. Bringing in the Skeledirge to farm them down, and they do have their own Skeledirge. All right, let's get it on. So since we're looking so good and we are ahead on energy, there's really no point to bait them. So we go straight for the Shadow Ball. They let it go, and that is a wrap, and we take the win there, and we're looking good. I'm telling you, Skeledirge and Feraligatr are just top tier. All right, so we do have an Escavalier. They're going to be swapping into your Tapu Fini. As a matter of fact, this is still the best matchup for us here with the Feraligatr up against the Tapu Fini. Funny enough, our whole team is weak against Tapu Fini's typing. And since we do have the Skeledirge, all we had to do is win this matchup here. So they hit me with a Nature's Madness, and I'm thinking they're going to shield this up. There's no way, but we're able to Shadow Claw them down, which is amazing. So we're going to be able to win that swap again. They're bringing in Escavalier. We're going to bring in the Skeledirge. Just a matter of what they have in the back. If it's a double fairy, not going to be looking too great. It's a Jorgalgi. Okay, well, they are resisting the fighting, but Stone Edge is going to do quite a bit of damage here. So let's see what happens, and they shield it up. All right, so what do I do here? Pretty sure I let this go, and we barely survive. We're just going to throw the Cross Chop just to do some damage, just to help out the Skeledirge just that much more. So we are still holding on to 2 shields. I do believe that Escavalier has energy, and Drill Run will take us out at this point. So yeah, we need to be careful. But what I'm banking on is the fact that the quick move on the Escavalier is not doing much, so we don't have to worry about it. So we'll shield this up. We have a shield left if need be. We're just going to go straight for that Shadow Ball and take the win up against that Dragalge here. And we're looking good and taking the win. Now, if you don't like this team too much because it's weak against Tapu Fini, I'd say remove maybe probably Feraligatr, because you kind of want something to resist the Fairy, right? Since you're so weak to it with the Machamp. But the choice is yours. You could do whatever you want. You could swap out the Feraligatr or the Skeledirge for another Pokemon that resists Fairy. All right, so we're up against an Alolan Muck here, and this is a fine matchup. It's no problem. Calling that Acid Spray is always nice at the end there. So they're going to be swapping. What do they just bring into battle? It's a Virizion, so we're going to go ahead and bring in our Skeledirge. Now, the only thing that can threaten us from that is going to be Stone Edge, and we're just going to go ahead and throw the Disarming Voice before they even get anything off. How about that? And farm their Muck down here. Oh, let's go ahead and just throw it. Why not? We don't want him to get to a Dark Pulse here. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. All right, we're taking that win. We're looking good. Again, another game Machamp didn't do anything. Do you see the combination between these two that I'm using here? It's amazing. All right, next game, we have a Fairy lead. Gramble with Snarl. Okay, that's a little bit of a different beast. So essentially, it's just going to be throwing charge moves a lot faster. And that's pretty much it. And they're still pretty deadly here. All right, so we'll go ahead and let that crunch go, as this Snarl's really not doing too much to us here, and we can spam the Hydro Cannon. If I remember this correctly, they double shield. That's right, they're going to be double shielding that Gramble, and I am going to let it go, I think. All right, nope, let's not call anything because it's always going to be opposite. Getting to another Hydro Cannon to take out this Granbull, and we're still leading with our Feraligatr here. They're going to be bringing in an Alolan Muck. We're swapping into our Skeledirge. Was that a good thing? I don't know. I don't really know. It's kind of an interesting thing to do, to throw your Ghost type into a Dark Pokemon that has already built up energy. So hitting me with a Dark Pulse, doing a ton of energy, and we're saving our Machamp. I could have went in there with that, I guess. Since they used both shields, it would have been looking pretty good. But let's just see what happens. Bring it in Machamp and throw in the Cross Chop immediately so we can hold on to that shield in case we need it for the very end here. And it looks like we're going to be taking the win as they back out. Thank you for watching. If you could hit that like button, that'd be much appreciated, and take care.